Hey guys, it's the WalterFootball.com After Dark Show for August 4th, 2024. Going to be breaking down the NFL top 100 players for the 2024 season list. It is, as expected, an abomination. Everyone knows the number 4 ranking overall. In case you haven't seen it, you're in for a treat. There are some other very strange rankings, and that's been the case since 2011, since they started this thing. So, yeah, we're going to break it all down here. We're going to discuss some other stuff as well. Maybe get into the Rainmakers debacle. There's been a resolution to it, in case you guys haven't heard. So, we're going to break that all down and intro our guest. But before we do all that, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit the link in the description for the merch store. All that would help us out a lot, and buying a t-shirt here would be great. So as you can see, I think this has been marked down, the Gluttony t-shirt. Now it's $19.55, still under $20 for a high quality t-shirt. I think it's a good price in this economy. It is August, so Gluttony month is here. My t-shirt should be arriving on Tuesday. That's what they said. Hopefully a little bit earlier, but I will be wearing it Tuesday night, hopefully, if it gets here. So yeah, you can support Gluttony month. You can tell everyone that you support gluttony rights, because gluttony rights are human rights. So you can get this shirt and many others on the merch store. Also, super chats, super stickers are very helpful. Slew and John Sanders have been great in that regard. Also, Germ, Kevin Kovac, Degeneron. You guys have been so awesome with your contribution, and it really means a lot, because YouTube ads, as I always say, pay nothing. And the last time we had a show with no super chats, super stickers, we had like 61 cents, which is like pretty bad. Just you can go out and pick up some change and do better. So yeah, any super chat, super sticker contributions would be really appreciated. I can't state that enough. Also, you can go to Amazon and pick up my book, Jerks of the College Years. If you like Jerks of the Week on my site, which is a place where I make fun of people, you'll like Jerks of the Week, Jerks of the College Years rather. It's all about the strange people I met at Penn State for 6 years. I have a lot of stories on there. So, yeah, you guys will enjoy it if you like funny stories. So, without further ado, we bring in Tom Quacky T. Tom, how's it going?
It's going great, Walter. Here we are again. Football season is upon us. The Hall of Fame game has come and gone. It's our favorite game of the year. We didn't even get a full 4 quarters. And it just made me realize, I mean, this is for how many months now since the Super Bowl? What, that was February, so about 6 months now. It's going to be no more laughing, no more fun here. We're going to have to cut out the foolishness and get down to business.
Let's get down to business. Yeah, we'll have to discuss football for sure. So no more Game of Thrones talk. Maybe a little bit, but yeah, we'll be good.
Do we need to have like a reserved like banter segment or something? It is going to be a strange transition, but I guess like when I first started doing the show regularly with you, we were doing the picks, so yeah, that's something that just the banter just developed later. But I'm sure we'll find a great way to mix it all in. So
yeah, I mean, like we'll be talking about picks, so we'll be busy. It's not like we'll be dying for things to talk about, So well, we can always reserve the last 10, 15, 20 minutes for nonsense if we have nonsense to talk about. But yeah, no, I'm very excited to break down the picks in a few weeks. The Hall of Fame game did come and go, as you said. Yeah, we didn't get a full game, mercifully. I was so thankful at the end of the game that we didn't have to come back at like midnight to keep watching this garbage. I just don't care about Brett Rippon versus Case Keenum. It's so stupid. But I was another reason for that selfishly was that I was like min cashing the DraftKings showdown. And I was not in good shape because like my captain was out. I had Roshan Johnson as captain. He was not going to play any longer. So I'm like, man, I could lose out on the min cash here if they come back. They ended it. So I got my like $20 or something. So I was pretty happy about that. So yeah,
I'm already over here looking at the comments. We got Mathiasen saying he's not approving the list. What's up, Mathiasen?
This might be the worst list. This might be the worst list. We've had some egregious rankings over the years. This is a bad one. I can't wait to break it down. Mike laughing at it. Hey Mike, how's it going? Cinder saying, are you planning on making any more future bets, player-based ones or any? There could be more. I'm not going to shut the door on that. If I hear
there, Walter. Oh, there you are.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but if I might add more. I'm not going to shut the door on it. If I hear anything or if there are any injuries I want to react to, there will be more. There won't be a lot more, but there might be some more for sure. And I was talking about adding Chargers over because everyone and their mom has been talking highly about the Chargers, like the people I trust. Like we had Andy on the show last Thursday, and he was really talking about talking up the Chargers. Then we had Eitan Shan, their VOD shopper. He loved the Chargers as well. So I was going to add Chargers over 8.5. And luckily, before I did that, I shouldn't say luckily, but luckily for me, I suppose. But Justin Herbert, he has plantar fascia on his foot, and so this might be a rough season for him. So I know Slew talked to me on Twitter, and he said that he took the Chargers under, which might be in consideration. But I'm going to write up the Chargers-Raiders Week 1 pick early for two reasons. One, to get ahead of this Herbert injury. I expect him to play, but if he misses Week 1, like that number is not going to last, obviously. So getting the +3 would be nice. And second, my developer wanted me to test out the picks page to see if everything's a go. So I said I was going to write up one early, so I'm going to do that tomorrow. So I'm gonna post Raiders +3. I think +3 -105 on FanDuel. Hopefully they don't tax us after that, but I think that goes into effect in 2025 anyway. So that the stupid thing. I know it's going to affect DraftKings people in 4 states, including mine. Things like PA, New York, Illinois, and I want to say Vermont. But yeah, I don't know if you heard that, Tom, but DraftKings is going to add a surcharge to every win you get on your bets in those 4 states. And if you get a loss on those bets, they're not gonna reimburse you, of course.
Of course not.
No, of course not. So what it comes out to, like someone did the math, like right now on -110 VIG, you have to hit 52.4% of your bets to be profitable. But with this tax surcharge, you have to hit 55% of your bets to be profitable on DraftKings. So like any smart bettor is going to stop using DraftKings, at least their sportsbook. So I don't know if you heard that, but that was
I did not.
Yeah.
It's being in Florida, I don't have to worry about any DraftKings. So I can't even get that far.
That's true.
But yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, if Herbert doesn't play Week 1, do you like the Chargers at all? Given a backup quarterback, you don't like Easton Stick?
Not against the top 5 defense in the NFL. No way. No, the Raiders will kill them.
You sure about that?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
You don't like the San Diego Superchargers, man? Come on. I thought we liked the backup. Sometimes we like the backup quarterback move, but not this time.
No, I did research on this last year, and I want to maybe I have this. I can pull it up. So I actually did a deep dive on quarterbacks and how they did against opposing defenses. So backup quarterbacks in general are profitable. As you would probably suspect. We bet a lot on backup quarterbacks over the years. So in the past 3 seasons, or I can't remember, I think this is 3 or 4 seasons, backup quarterbacks in general have been 39 and 35 against the spread, which is pretty good. So backup quarterbacks against defenses that are not ranked in the top 12 of EPA, they're actually amazing. They're 28 and 15 against the spread. However, when they play against the top 12 EPA defense, they're just 11 and 20 against the spread. So it just makes a lot of sense to fade these backup quarterbacks against great defenses and play them otherwise because you're getting good value otherwise. But against great defenses, they can really shut down these quarterbacks and really embarrass them. So the Raiders have a top 5 defense.
You think the Raiders fall into that category?
Oh, yeah. They were 7th last year, and they had a Christian Wilkins. So yeah, they're gonna destroy Easton Stick. I don't think he has a chance against the Raiders. But in Week 2, if he has to play again, I don't know who they play in Week 2. I'm gonna type this in real fast. Chargers schedule. They play the Panthers Week 2. So if they lose to the Raiders and Stick starts again in Week 2, that's gonna be a good game for the Chargers. I like them.
Who did you just say they played?
The Panthers in Week 2.
Well, I mean, it depends. I don't know. I'm of the belief that the Panthers could be a little bit better. Well, let's see what happens Week 1.
Yeah, but not their defense. Their offense can be better. Their defense is not anything special. Their defense last year was what were they EPA wise? It was just 18th, and they lost Brian Burns, so they're probably gonna be like 22nd, 23rd, maybe. Like their defense is not good. Their offense is gonna be a lot better, not their defense.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, you said that there is a chance that Herbert might play, though.
Yeah, but if he does, he might be hurt, and that's going to be might be even better for the Raiders. Given like, I guess considering how hurt he is exactly. But there was a doctor on Twitter. He's a medical expert who has like 90,000 followers, and I know he's highly regarded from what I've heard from other people. But he said that this is going to be an issue for Herbert all year. Like he's going to be out a few weeks for training camp. And then they said that they're gonna have to slowly ramp him up, but like this is gonna be an issue all year. Like it's gonna be an issue like mobility wise and like planning off that foot or something like that, or pushing off the foot. And I remember Matt Ryan had a similar issue one season. It was like 2010 or 2011. I can't remember which year it was exactly, but the Falcons were terrible that year. Like once he got the injury midseason, and like the rest of the year, Atlanta was just horrible. And just Matt Ryan had one of his worst seasons. So like this could be a really bad year for Herbert if he's hurt.
Who was the doctor that tweeted that out? Kevorkian?
Actually, in Las Vegas, I visited this place called the Haunted Museum. They have Dr. Kevorkian's van in the museum.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's really cool. It's called the Haunted Museum. It's something else. Haunted.
I think I know what you're talking about. It's like, wait, when did you go? Just this past trip?
I went 2 years ago.
I think that's relatively new. I think I remember that being built in like 2017.
Okay, it might be new.
But
yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about. But
yeah, they have a lot of cool stuff there. They have I know they have stuff from Al Capone. They have
that's cool.
they have Wyatt Earp's Bible or something like that. Like they have a lot of old stuff. It's really awesome. A lot of creepy stuff too. They have like Michael Jackson's the pill bottle that he took that killed him.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's really good. I highly recommend it if you go out to Vegas. It's awesome.
There was you ever watch that show Black Mirror?
Oh, I love Black Mirror. It's great.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know. Okay, I didn't know that you were a fan of it. I haven't seen every episode, but there are some really good ones.
I think I've seen everyone.
What's the? Is it called the Black Museum or something? Where that guy had the helmet? Remember they had like he had all that weird stuff in the museum, and the guy they had like that helmet. If you put it on somebody else, you could feel like whatever they were feeling. He was like a surgeon, so they would put it on the patient so he could feel their pain. But it was like a museum where they had like all sorts of creepy stuff like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the name of the episode is now. Like now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, I don't remember the name either. Yeah, I liked a lot of the early episodes they had in Black Mirror. Some of the later ones, not so much, but I liked I don't know if you saw the one where the woman wakes up in an empty room and like she sees something on the TV or something, and she has to find her daughter. And the entire time, like no one's outside except for like people in windows, just like looking at her and like taking videos of her, and like people start shooting her, and so she has to like run away from people, and you're like the whole time all she wants to do is find her daughter, and like you're so pissed off at these people, like why are they just like videotaping her or just like attacking her? Like what are they doing? Did you ever see that one?
I don't think I have.
That was a great one. It turned out I'm not gonna spoil it, but it was
yeah. I'll watch that one.
It's one of my favorite ones. The twist is really good. Yeah, there's so many good ones.
Did you see the one called Nosedive with it's with Bryce Dallas Howard, and it's like you have like that. It's almost like your currency. The social media points. Like you have a good interaction with someone. Dude,
yes. They do that in China. They already do that.
That's a really good one. That's a really good one.
That's a great one.
I know some people. Yeah, it's called Nosedive. It's an episode of Black Mirror for those of you that haven't seen it. That one's good, and Crocodile is good.
Which one?
Remember the one? Crocodile was the one. Remember they were driving around drunk, and they hit that guy, and they just dumped his body in the lake. Mm-hmm. And then later, the guy who was driving goes to the woman who was the passenger because they kept their mouth shut about it. And he's having a catharsis. He quit drinking, and he's like, "I feel guilty. I have to let him know." But she was like, "No." Like she was like a pillar of her community. She rose very high in her like she can't let that happen. That's gonna like ruin her. You know, like she basically like kept that a secret. She knew that they killed that guy. Yeah. So she killed him in the episode, but then like they can read your thoughts to like see like what you experienced. Mm-hmm. So then they end up tracking her down and like see that like, you know, they can like it's just like a movie reel of like of your like point of view.
Yeah.
So like it's a pretty interesting one. So it's called Crocodile. I recommend that one as well.
Yeah, there was the one where I can't remember what I was going to say. They're the one where it was like a dating app thing, and you got to sit down with a person for a certain amount of time, and it was like your date will last 4 hours or something, and like you had to end your date at 4 hours, and so like there was this couple, like two people got together for a date, like they actually like really were into each other, and they decided they're like, we're not going to check the end of our date, like whenever our time expires. So they just decided to stay together, and then like the guy becomes obsessed because he's like so in love with this woman, and he becomes so obsessed. He's like, I have to see when this date is going to end, and yeah, go ahead.
So that, like, because he looks at it, that makes it like that now it's in play for it to actually end.
Yeah, so this is not spoiling it because there's an even bigger twist, but like, yeah, he checks it and it says like your date will end in like 5 minutes because like she catches him looking and she loses trust in him. But like there's way more to this. Like they try to get back together again, and like you see why they have like these time limits for these dates and stuff like that. It's really cool. Very great episode.
Okay, I'll have to write those down. Now, this makes me think of, this is something that we talked about years ago, but I want to bring this up on the show because I think this is an interesting matter of contention. You know, one of my favorite Twilight Zone episodes, for those of you familiar with the Twilight Zone, this one came out sometime in the 60s, and I think you already know which one I'm going to talk about. The episode's called
Casino?
A Nice Place to Visit.
Yes.
Long story short, for those who aren't familiar, the episode starts out, this guy robbed a bank. He's in a shootout with the police running down the street. And he runs into a guy, you know, he's like climbing over the fence. This guy in a white suit comes to him. He realizes he was shot and he's dead. So he's like, oh, like you're like my guardian angel, right? And he's like, well, I'm kind of your guide. And long story short, the guy gets everything he wants, like fancy car, like women. He has to take him to a nice hotel room. And then at the end, he gets tired of everything going so right. And I love how it ends because he goes, there's been a mistake. He goes, I don't want to be here anymore. I want to go to the other place. And the guy in the white suit, Fats, or what do they call them? Fats or Chucks?
Fats. It's
Fats.
It's Fats, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and Fats goes, this is the other place.
Yeah.
That's such a good ending. But here's the thing: when he goes to the casino, every time he wins, like every roulette roll, he wins. Mm-hmm. And I want to see if you still feel the same way. I told this, we talked about this many years ago on the phone. That wouldn't be any fun. And you said that you would like to win every single bet. I mean, obviously you want to, but like, don't you think like that would happen? Like what happened to the guy in the Twilight Zone episode?
I mean, if it was sheer luck, no. But I feel like if I worked hard at it and did my research with the handicapping and I was hitting at 100% rate, and if I knew for sure it wasn't Satan just torturing me, I would 100% take wins every time. Like, there's no doubt about it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you don't think that would get old? I mean, I guess there's no way to know that like it was destined for you to hit every one because it's truly an impossibility. I mean, it's inevitable that you're going to miss some, like no matter who you are, obviously.
You can always do a heat check. You can just bet insane parlays, and see like if you keep hitting that, then you're like, okay, maybe I'm in hell, just money line parlay every single underdog on the board and see what happens.
There you go.
Yeah.
But I think like at what point would you start to wonder? Do you think, hypothetically, of course, would you be like, okay, like this is weird? If you hit like every bet for a week, every bet for a month.
Well, if I went 16-0 week 1 and 16-0 week 2, I'd be like, wow, this is awesome. And then if I went 16-0 week 3, I'm like, okay, let me see what happens. And then if I go 16-0 week 4, I'm like, hold on, let me check this out here. I might actually be dead. So
I think that's fair. That would be weird. I mean, I think at that point, especially because of how well documented your picks are, I mean, you would probably, I mean, you would be a phenomenon.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
You would go viral. Like,
I would still get hate mail if I went 16. I guarantee it. They'd be like,
you lucky fucking bastard or something. Sorry for the language.
yeah, John Capricotti would send me.
Oh, so lucky.
No. He'd be like, I don't know why you're shopping for these numbers. You should just bet whatever number you can get. It's like that's actually a thing he said to me last year. Like that was his point of contention, not losing bets. Like he was just like, you shouldn't waste time but trying to find the best number. And I'm like, dude, if you're shopping for something, like you're not going to look for the best deals.
Yeah,
like what are you insane?
Yeah,
it's so stupid.
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I'm sure people will always find something to complain about, but
of course.
No, but I mean, I that would be huge. Like they'd probably do like a segment on you on ESPN.
I don't think ESPN would acknowledge me, to be honest.
Well, okay, maybe not ESPN, but somewhere, something like
somewhere.
They'd probably be like, oh, this guy's like 64-0.
Yeah, they would. Yeah. They would. I'm sure I'd get radio interview requests from Vegas radio, sure, but I don't. Like I said, ESPN definitely would not acknowledge me. I'm too based for them, I suppose.
Do you think you'd get banned from like books or anything for that?
No, I don't think so. Because I don't bet every bet on the same book. Like right, that goes with what I'm saying about like shopping the best numbers. And it's not like a 4 week span. I don't think is enough. Like if even like for example, if I went like if anyone went whatever it is, how many weeks in their season? 18. So if they went 90-0 in the Super Contest, I think at that point, like people like sports books in Vegas would be like, we don't want this guy's action or something. But I don't know. As far as online, like these are $1 billion companies. I don't think they care too much. Like the smaller sportsbooks like PointsBet will definitely limit you. I don't think any sportsbook would ban you outright. They would just limit your bets. That's what PointsBet did that to me. I couldn't. It's like 2 years ago, I think. But no, actually, it was last year, and I wasn't even having a great year. Like I was doing well on their side for some reason, but they limited my bets. I could only bet like $10 max for games. So I was like, I just pulled all my money. I was like, this is stupid. Like, why would I do this?
That's interesting that they limited PointsBet limited you to $10.
$10 for straight bets and like $5 for prop bets.
Really?
Yep. I was like, and they didn't limit me before, but then a couple months later, like it was like halfway through the season, they limited me. So I'm like, I'm done.
That's so. I mean, I was gonna say, like, why would you even need to go all?
No, as soon as they did that, I pulled all my money. Like, okay, fine. You don't want my business? It's fine. I would just go somewhere else. There are a million sportsbooks out there. So
you don't think like imagine like you picked. Well, I guess this is a dumb example. I was gonna say a perfect March Madness bracket. You don't think obviously that would get picked up like big time, and it's never going to happen. But it's
never been done. So no, I don't like that. That could be sheer luck. Now, if you did that 2 years in a row, which like again, it's never been done once. If you did that 2 years in a row, like maybe they look at it, but I don't know. I mean, it depends on how much you're betting at these books anyway. Like I know someone who bet our draft props at Bovada, and they made hypothetically they made like $35,000. And Bovada was like, no, you're not taking the money out. So at least they got their money back at least. So it's not like they got totally screwed, but that was a bad move. But actually this person actually emailed me and said, hey Walt, do you like, he's like, do you know anyone at Bovada or like, can you like, or do you think I should take up legal counsel and try to sue Bovada? And I'm like, dude, this sucks, but there's no way Bovada is going to take the call from your lawyer seriously. Like they're just going to laugh because they're a Costa Rican company. They can't be sued. They don't have to show up to the U.S. courts, so they don't care.
Right. Oh man, so like here's what I want to know. Like, how well do you think we'd have to do for us to like have to go into a Vegas casino in a disguise? That's what I want to do.
Well, I don't know. At that point, I feel like you just hire an intern or something. And
I want to go in, man. I want to wear a disguise.
Yeah, just wear the glasses and the mustache. Yeah, I'm not Tom.
No, but I mean, wouldn't that be? We'd probably feel pretty cool. Like after we pulled off the bet, like, oh, they didn't catch us.
Right.
I think if you started at 64-0, we got to go in disguise, man. I'll go in like a side duck costume, and you. You go with the glasses and the mustache.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
Where do you have facial?
Yeah, I don't need the mustache, just the glasses.
Yeah.
I think my wife's glasses or something.
I guess I'd probably just shave my head and wear my glasses for starters.
Yeah, I mean, like I feel like it's not that difficult to wear the disguise. Like you just wear a wig or something, and like it's not. I don't know. Like the people at the sportsbook like ticket window are not. They don't seem like the smartest people. Some
Oh my god!
what? I'm not.
Well, I mean,
I'm not saying they're like imbeciles, but they're not like geniuses who are going to be like they're not these forensic
yeah,
like.
it's not like
people
Elon Musk is working there or nothing.
Right? No, actually, I wore my I'll pull it up my money laundering shirt. Where is it? So I wore my money laundering shirt in Vegas. I went to the BetMGM, one of the BetMGM books. And I wrote about this in Jerks of the Week, which will be published eventually. But so I come up to the window, and the guy looks at my shirt. He's like, "Oh, money laundering. I wish you could do that." Like, okay. It's a weird thing to say. But I mentioned a couple years ago, I went to the counter and I bet the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. This is like one of the years where they didn't have great odds. I think it was like Mahomes was like either starting out. Mahomes had won Super Bowl by then, but it was only one. And so I bet them to win the Super Bowl. And the guy at the window, and this is I think Circa or Westgate, I can't remember. But the guy it was Westgate. The guy goes, "Oh, I don't think Mahomes is that good. He's a little overrated." Yeah, and just like. I leave. I actually tweeted that out. I'm like, the guy at the sportsbook window told me Mahomes is overrated. Like, these are not the smartest people, man. They're just okay. And there's one time. This is also at the Westgate. There's like an older woman there. She's like 60. And I placed the bet on the Bears. This is ahead of 2018. I placed the Bears to win the Super Bowl at like 100-1. That was the year. That was the double doink year. Yeah. And so I bet like $50 or something like that on that. And she's like, wow, 100-1. She's like, if this wins, you better come back and take me on a date.
Oh, nice.
Like she's 60. You know?
Jeez, that's a shame that they didn't win that.
Man, that date would have been sweet, man.
Could have taken her to that room or that restaurant where you can't see anything.
Yeah, that's probably the best place.
I remember one of like my coolest memories of like cashing a ticket. It was the 2017-2018 season. It was that Bears-Steelers game. Remember the Steelers were -7 in Chicago?
Yeah.
And the Bears won outright in overtime. I remember it was one of the bigger bets I've ever made. I put 300 on the Bears +7. And then I remember like when they gave me the ticket, I was like, see you later. And then I came back and cashed it. And then I said to the lady, I bet you didn't see too many of these today. She goes, oh no. Felt great, huh?
Yeah, that's
boy. I was a real hero there. I was Mr. Las Vegas that day, huh?
Yeah, I wish they would give out like whenever you cash your tickets, if you cash significantly, like the people at the window will be like, oh, do you want free drink tickets? And I'm like, I'm not, I'll drink casually, but I won't just drink by myself or anything like that. Like I'm usually just there by myself. I always like wish they'd give out like buffet tickets. Like I'll be like, yes, give me all of them.
Yeah, see if you can exchange it. Well, back in my as you know, I don't drink anymore. But back in my drinking days, oh baby, you make a big bet, they give you like 3 drink coupons for that.
Oh yeah.
Whereas I would be there like getting wasted all freaking day, watching sports and that. But anymore. Yeah, it probably says like no exchanges on the ticket too.
Yeah.
You can't even. Oh, I don't know. Geez, should we catch up on some comments here, maybe?
Yeah, let's do that. Mike says, "Yay, gluttony!" Yeah, it's August, so this is the month for gluttons. Cinder says, "Anti-Eagles quackers."
Are you saying that you're anti-Eagles, or are you saying that I am? Because I am not. I'm pro-Eagles.
Yeah, we're pro-Eagles this year.
Of some kind. What's up, Cinder?
Yeah, Patrick says, just wanted to drop in and say, after the first season, I watched The Leftovers. It's a masterpiece. Shocked the show doesn't get talked about more. Yeah, man, that Leftovers is a great show. Especially I don't know, in the first season, I don't think they do the hotel scenes where the main character, Kevin, I think he wakes up in a hotel. And he does stuff there. It's that like those scenes were great too. Yeah, I love The Leftovers, and the ending is so ambiguous. You just don't know. I don't know if you're familiar with The Leftovers. Basically, it's a show on HBO, and what happens is like. So suddenly, like out of nowhere, like I think it's like 10% of the Earth's population just disappears, like out of thin air, and it's just like the fallout from that. Like the main character loses his wife, and so it's just him and his daughter trying to get by, but other people have it a lot worse. Like a woman he meets, she loses both of her children; they just vanish, and so it's just what happens then. But toward the end, I don't know how much you want me to say, but I won't say anything because Patrick.
Yeah, don't say too because I wrote this down over here.
Yeah, so no, it's an amazing show. The music's really good. It's made by the same guys from Lost, so it was like very high quality. But the ending is super ambiguous because a woman at the end tells a story to the main character, and you don't know if she's telling the truth or not, and like you just kind of have to wonder. But like it's a great show. I would highly recommend.
Okay, I'll put it on there because I found a couple other some like true crime stuff on Max now. So I'm trying to branch out because I end up watching the same thing other than Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
I end up watching the same like thing over like a thousand times. So okay, The Leftovers. I'll put it on the list. Good. Everyone says like, oh, I'll put it on my list, and there is no list. I actually have a list here.
I have a list too. I have a notepad file open on my computer at all times. So
but people, how many times have you said that to people? You're like, oh yeah, I'll add it to my list. And it's like you forget about it. Like
I know.
0.75 seconds later.
I know this notepad file is massive. I can tell you that. I think it's like one of the bigger files on my computer. I have so many notes here. I sometimes like go through it and just delete stuff, but I have like text. I like text that I used to send to my girlfriend like back in 2011 or 2012. This is like I've had this file for a long time. Patrick says, also, I will say I'm glad I got the $35 in total from Rainmakers with no money put in before it ended. Well, yeah, congrats on your free $35 there. Yeah, I was worried about the payout. I thought I was going to have to sue DraftKings, but the payout was fair. I'll say that. I was going to say that if the payout wasn't fair, I was going to tell everyone never to use DraftKings again. Based on the rug pull, but the payoff for Rainmakers was very fair. So I will continue to use DraftKings. So I'm still very upset that Rainmakers is done. I will miss it a lot. Like I love scouring the market. That was like one of my favorite things. I would, like I eat breakfast at my computer. What I would do is like I would just open my laptop and just look for deals as I eat breakfast. Like it was, I thought that was so fun, and just putting in offers and like building your collection, opening prize packs, building lineups. It was such a good time that I'll miss it. It sucks.
And you won't have to now. Like, are you never going to go to the Trenton Thunder Stadium ever again? Or?
Well, no, I will go draft week to bet on FanDuel and DraftKings because I can't bet on draft props in PA. So I will be going to the Samuel J. Palmieri Memorial Stadium once a year, not once a week again. So that's the upside, I suppose. No more hour-long trips back and forth to Trenton.
Do you think we should have like a moment of silence, or?
I think. Well, I'm still going there, so it's not like I'll never be there again.
Okay,
so.
But I mean, I think it should be recognized for something. Holy cow, Walter! Are you watching this Angels game? They were up 2. By the way, I told Walter that I liked the Angels today. They're up 2-0. The Mets hit a grand slam. The Mets went up 4-2, and then the Angels hit a 3-run home run. They're up 5-4 in the 8th now.
Wow,
this is what a roller coaster here.
Wow, so that's awesome.
So hopefully I'll try to keep us updated on that.
Yeah.
But anyhow, we're talking about Twilight. Oh, we're getting back to the comments. I'm sorry.
Yeah. John says Lamar Jackson was just given the ceremonial gold medal in Paris for perseverance.
Was he really?
I don't think so. Why would he do that? I don't. That's weird.
Well, is he even there?
No, I doubt it. I mean, he's got to be in training camp, right? So,
oh yeah, duh.
I don't. Well, I mean, this has to do with the list that we'll get to. John says, "Who would you rather start a franchise with, Tyreek Hill or Pat Mahomes?" An aging receiver or the best quarterback in the NFL? I don't know. Tough call.
Well, pretty soon Tyreek Hill's going to have enough kids to start his own team. So anyway,
2045 draft's going to be loaded, just saying. Slew says that the list is so bad, have you all considered that it might be compiled using DEI criterion? Yeah, that's probably a fair suspicion. John says Allen be top 5 every year if he was black. Let's be real. We'll definitely get to the list for sure. John says Raiders only have backup QBs though, but yeah, the Chargers don't have a top 10 defense. So that goes to what I was saying before, where starting backup quarterbacks is good unless you have to play against the top 12 defense. Chargers defense last year was what? Let me find it. They were 17th last year. So, just league average. They'll be okay. Evie says hello.
Hello, Evie. Thank you for joining.
Hi, Evie. Yeah, thank you for joining, Evie. John says, should I jump on the Pats over before they trade for Ayuk?
No, take the under. But dude, I still contend. I like him week 1. But yeah, I think they're gonna have the fewest wins. So
what bothers me about week 1 is that they have new coach, new quarterback. That's the only thing. But I do like the number. But it could be lopsided too. I don't know. I'm not going to bet that one. Sue says if injury to Herbert is really bad, they should consider obtaining Jacob's favorite, Tim Boyle. I hope Tim Boyle starts some games this year. That would be amazing. John says knowing Harbaugh, he'll sign Kaepernick. That's like he hasn't played in almost 10 years now. It's kind of crazy.
I know.
It's not like he's been out for football for a year or two. It's been almost 10 years.
I know, right? Jeez, I can't believe that. It has been a long time. It was 12 years ago that he took him to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
A long time. It doesn't seem like that long ago.
I know, it's crazy. Evie says, "I love the Twilight Zone." Yeah, there are some great episodes. There's some bad episodes, but you get that with every show. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are some really memorable ones that I always love. Sue says, "A nice place to visit. First aired on Tax Day, April 15th, 1960." Wow, there you go. Wow. Nice. John says Leftovers final season was bad. I think for the most part, yes, but I thought the reveal at the end or pseudo reveal at the end with that one woman, I don't want to say her name, I don't want to spoil anything for Patrick or anyone else, but when like at the end when the woman's telling her story, I thought that was like a great ending. So like the final season, yes, it was not that good, but I thought toward the end, I thought it got better. Because I like when she was telling that story, I'm like, oh my god, like is this real or not? Like I just it's not. I wish I could discuss it with like people not knowing, but yeah, when you and Patrick watch it, that's something we could discuss in the future, I suppose. But and I think it's a good discussion whether her story is real or fake, because it's such a. I think it just like changes your whole outlook on the show if her story is real or not. I can't really get much more into it without spoiling anything. So,
okay. I will check it out. So,
yeah. Sterling was a great writer. Yeah, Roger Sterling did Twilight Zone. Very prescient. He also fought in the Philippines in World War II. Wow. Yeah, my grandfather did as well. Not in Philippines, but yeah, receiving a Bronze Star and the Purple Heart. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. That's pretty cool. Matthias says Leftovers says 2% of the population. I'll roll the dice personally. Okay, yeah, it was not 10%, it's 2%. So, I mean, just imagine if 2% of the population just suddenly disappeared. Now, you might not be affected at all, or you could, unfortunately, you could lose a couple family members. They're vanishing. You just don't know where they went. But like I said, there was in I think it was season 2, they introduced this dynamic where the main character wakes up in a hotel just randomly, and like you just don't know what's going on, and all you're told he's like, don't drink the water here, and like that's what he's told. And the whole thing with the hotel, I thought was awesome. I thought it was like really well done. You're like, you just don't know what's happening. I love that show. I really miss it. I watched it a few years ago, but. Anyway, so let's get into the top 100 list. Pull it up here. So let's start. I'm going to read off. Let's go in segments of 10, starting 100 to 91, and then we'll discuss these names, and then we'll go 90 to 81, etc. So 100 is Zaire Franklin, linebacker for the Colts. 99, Levante David. 98, Cameron Hayward. I'll enlarge this. Numbers 97, Terry McLaurin. Number 96, Dion Dawkins. Number 95, Julian Love. Number 94, Trevor Lawrence. 93, Harrison Smith. 92, Aaron Rodgers. 91, Tyreek Woolen. I only thought the only wrong thing here is Zaire Franklin. I don't know, like he really struggled in covers last year. I thought he's an okay starter. I wouldn't rank him in the top 100. I think that was a mistake. You could say why is Aaron Rodgers so low? But he's going to be 41 soon, so I can maybe understand that. And he didn't play last year. Trevor Lawrence being 94, you can maybe argue should be higher. Dion Dawkins, you could argue could be higher. But other than that, I think 191 was okay. This list gets a lot worse, but this is fine. Anything stand out to you here?
Well, I'm interested to see who's higher than Lawrence and Rodgers here. So let's.
There's some bangers here. You'll get a good laugh. John says, "How did DJ Moore not make the list?" Yeah, I'll have my top 10 snubs. Yeah, I'll have my top 10 snubs. Moore is going to be one of them for sure. I don't know how DJ Moore didn't make the list. It's kind of insane. Matthias says, "Go ahead and drop Harrison Smith." Definitely getting some previous love. Yeah, this is that's member berry stuff. I could see Harrison Smith not deserving this list, but there are some more egregious examples of that. All right, so 90 to 81, we have 90s Devontae Smith, 89's Buda Baker, 88 Chris Lindstrom, 87 Hassan Reddick, 86 Saquon Barkley, 85 Tristan Wirfs, 84 DK Metcalf, 83 Derwin James, 82 Montez Sweat, 81 Kirk Cousins. I thought Tristan. Go ahead.
People lost their damn minds. Kirk Cousins at 81, but Kirk. What? Tell me what I've missed. I've talked about this before, but it's he was the butt of every joke, and now I know I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but they just give him a big contract, and now it's he's the savior. What? I just don't. That's why I like my 60-1 Michael Penix Jr. Rookie of the Year bet. I can't believe they put Cousins ahead of Aaron. Yeah, I know he's getting older, but ahead of Rodgers and Trevor Lawrence. Kirk Cousins is 81. I don't know, man.
I have no issue with Cousins being 81, but I don't understand how he's better than Aaron Rodgers. If you had a choice to make, if you had to take one quarterback for this season, you're really taking Cousins over Rodgers?
Yeah.
Maybe some people are. They could point to Rodgers being old and coming off an Achilles tear. But Cousins is also old and coming off an Achilles tear. So not really much of a difference there. I'd rather personally just have Aaron Rodgers. I don't know. The Falcons drafted Michael Penix for a reason. I think that reason is they saw Cousins throw and maybe he's not good anymore, but I don't know. If Cousins is just 81, that's fine. But Rodgers and Trevor Lawrence, worse. I don't get it.
I'll amend my statement to that. I guess 81 is okay, but there's no way he's ahead of those two.
Yeah.
I don't. That's. I think something's going to happen in that situation this season. I don't think it's going to be nothing.
Yeah.
I think one way or another we're going to see Penix on the field.
I think you're right. 85 Tristan Wirfs. He's one of the best tackles in the NFL. I don't get how he's only 85. And then, I was typing this up as I was going, and then toward the end, I'm there's so many good tackles not on this list at all. The best center in the NFL is not on this list, and the best guard in the NFL is not on this list. So it's these people don't know how offensive line will work, or they just don't care about offensive linemen, which is insane. Just shows you how dumb these people are, the voters. But 86 Saquon Barkley, I thought that was a little too low, but then recently I saw some of his metrics from last year, just yards after contact and whatnot, and it was pretty bad. But then again, he's never had a great offensive line either. So I don't know. I didn't know what to do with Barkley there. I didn't highlight him, but I think that you can make the case that he could be higher as well. Everything else here seems okay to me. Reddick's getting up there in age, so just based on last year, I think he should be higher, but he is 30 plus now, so could be worse.
Yeah, let's keep it moving. I'm interested to see who else is.
Yeah, well, Matthias says, well, DJ Moore sucks, and then John says sucks at marketing himself, maybe. Perhaps, yeah. I mean, Moore, he just got a big contract, so I'm sure maybe he cares about this, but the money's going to make up for it, I suppose. John says Cousins was very good last year. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was, but I'm just saying, I don't know. I mean, I think he's good, but I don't think he's worth all that money.
Yeah, and he also had Jefferson, Addison, and Hawkinson.
Yeah,
what
do I know? I play video games on the internet, so take this all for whatever it's worth to you. So,
yeah. Matthias says he was having MVP season before injury. I don't know about MVP season, but he was definitely a Pro Bowl season for sure. And then John says, "Wow, Snead didn't make this." Jerry Snead, yeah, he's another one. He actually didn't make my snub list, but he could have.
So Willie Snead.
No, not Willie Snead.
He's in burn. No, I don't feel that way. That was a good one.
Yes, it's very good. All right. All right. Next 10. 80 Sam Laporta, 79 Minka Fitzpatrick, 78 Kyron Williams, 77 Trey Hendrickson, 76 Dre Greenlaw, 75 Justin Herbert, 74 Jesse Bates, 73 Jeffrey Simmons, 72 Garrett Wilson, 71 Laramie Tunsil. I think Sam Laporta should be higher. Like, you could argue that Sam Laporta is the best tight end in the NFL now. He's being drafted as the tight end 1 in fantasy, and with Travis Kelce kind of like aging out, Kelce having a bad year last year until the playoffs, and Mark Andrews coming off an injury, I think you could really argue that Laporta is the best tight end. So I think 80's too low for him. Outside of that, this segment isn't too bad. So anything stand out here for you?
Boy, in a hypothetical, after seeing his trajectory over the last couple of years, I never expected to see Justin Herbert as low as 75, but here we are.
Yeah. Yeah, in my mind, I factored the injury in my head, but like this list was they voted on this list before that injury, so I think that Herbert should be higher, but in the wake of this injury, I think this is probably where he should be with the injury, so it ended up working out, even though the players were wrong about him.
So.
But that says, Laporta, go ahead and swap him with Kittle. I would swap him with Kelce, honestly, where Kelce is on this list. Well, where do you think Kelce lands on this list? If you had a guess, take a stab. This is not like quizzing you here.
I'll say 28.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see where he lands. All right. So 70 to 61, we have 70s Amari Cooper, 69 Cooper Kupp, 68 Daniel Hunter, 67 Terran Armstead, 66 Brandon Ayuk. We'll see where he plays. 65 Jordan Poyer, 64 Patrick Queen, 63 Jalen Waddle, 62 Bradley Chubb, and 61 Justin Matabuke. Well, Cooper Kupp I don't think this is egregious. I don't know. I he was really slowing down last year. He's 31. That's usually the age in which receivers kind of decline. And I don't know. I feel like this is another member-berry one. It's like, I remember Cooper Kupp. I remember Cooper Kupp's catches. Yeah, it was great. But he's not an amazing receiver anymore. So he shouldn't be 69. I think the more egregious one is Jordan Poyer, 65. This guy signed a 1-year, $2 million contract with free agency. If he's the 65th best player in the NFL, why isn't he getting a contract much better than 1 year and $2 million? This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, fair argument with the Cooper Kupp, but I still put him ahead of Brandon Ayuk. I mean, really? I don't know.
You think Kupp is better than Ayuk?
I'd still take him over Ayuk. I don't know. I just don't like Ayuk.
I don't. Wow. I completely disagree. I mean, Kupp last year after week 6 and 2 100-yard games.
Well, maybe I ate too many member berries.
Maybe.
I just don't like Ayuk. Maybe because I just hate the 49ers. But
okay, well, he's not going to be in the Niners too much longer.
Right. Feels like okay. Fair enough. But he was there at one point, so by association,
Yeah. Okay. I think Ayuk should be higher in my opinion. If I had to say high or low, I think he should be in 40 to 50. I think he's a great receiver. I think he's fantastic. Okay. John says, Jordan Poyer, did they watch him play last year? No, I don't think I don't think the voters watched anyone play last year, honestly. And Matthias says, asking, is this list based on last year or this upcoming year?
Yeah.
Either answer, the list doesn't make any sense. Well, it has to be. It absolutely has to be based on 2024 because Aaron Donald's on this list. If this list were based on the players from 2023, Aaron Donald would be top 10 still. But he retired, and so he's on the list. So it has to be for 2024.
Who are the voters of this?
It's the players. The players vote.
Oh, it's the players? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I always said that, like, I find it astonishing that the players get this so wrong every year. Like, if you and I were working in an office with like 20 other people, right? Mm-hmm. If we had a conversation where we could rank like the workers in the office from 1 to 20, I think we could come up with like a great consensus, and I think we'd be pretty much on point. Like maybe we disagree. Like maybe you'd say like Flores is better than Bob, or I'd be like, no, Bob's better. We'd argue like 12 and 13, you know, but we would have like a pretty good list. Where it's like these players get this so wrong all the time. Like 65 Jordan Poyer, he was so bad last year that no one wanted him for more than $2 million this year, and yet he's 65th. Like, what is this? Like, how could they put Jordan Poyer here? It's so stupid. I don't know.
This is interesting. They do this every year. I never even knew this was a thing.
Every year since 2011. I used to do this breakdown with Jacob. So you've taken this place here.
Nice. Nice. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. I actually told on Friday when we got our Rainmakers payouts, I texted Jacob and I was like, was your Rainmaker payout fair? I asked the same thing to Kenny, and like Kenny is like, yeah, it was pretty fair. And Jacob goes, what are you talking about? I'm like, they ended Rainmakers, and he's like, what? Oh, no. Like he responded like, what? And I'm like, wow, how have you not heard this? So yeah, I told him about it. So it was sad moment. Yeah, he was upset about it too. And I keep telling Kenny, I must have texted him this like 5 times, and I said, we need to make our own Rainmakers. And like Kenny finally responded at the 5th time. He's like, I think that's a difficult undertaking. But I texted Jacob the same thing. I'm like, yeah, Kenny and I have been talking about making our own Rainmakers, as if like Kenny is, and he's like, oh, you guys should definitely do that.
Don't forget my idea of trash draft. Remember I pitched that idea to you in 2015?
Yeah, so like no, I thought that was interesting, and I thought that once we got our own DFS going, that we could introduce this new thing, but we never had like we hit a wall of like, let's say like the most players we ever had in a week was like 800 people, 700 people, and I thought that like if we can get to like 2,000 plus, I thought that we could maybe get something going, and it's a free contest. I don't know why there were so few people. Like it's free money. Just all you have to do is click a few buttons, and you can win $350. Or no, it's I said the prize money goes up depending on how many people there are in the contest. So it's free money. I don't know why people don't do it, but it just never took off. So our regular DFS never took off, but the trash DFS I thought was interesting, where people don't know what you're talking about. So the trash DFS is you have to select actually like good players.
This is a quacky original idea, by the way.
Yeah. You have to you're not selecting from garbage players. You're selecting like great players, but you have to try to get the lowest score of the week. So I always thought that was interesting. So a different take on it.
We should just what if I donated like $1,000 to like a free DFS, like one time only, to help generate interest. And then if you want to contribute something, it's like one trash draft, WalterFootball trash draft contest, free entry. You can win up to 1,000. I think people might, I don't know.
Yeah, if it was $1,000, we definitely get more. We get more interest for sure.
Okay, well let's.
Are you gonna do it? I don't know, you brought it up. I feel like I should.
Well,
ask.
I mean, I would be, at some point I would consider it.
Okay. Enough covered calls on the game.
Yeah, if it brought us some traffic, people want to see the Quacky and Walter spectacular.
Yeah. Maybe we could have a coupon code on our show that people would have to listen, and then they could enter or something. I don't know.
We could have tell me what movie this is from. We could have a coupon day.
I don't know.
It's from Jurassic Park, the first one.
Jeez.
Remember the only one that agrees is the lawyer, and he was like, "Oh, people will pay." He's like, "We could have a coupon day or something.
It's such an obscure quote.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know, like always remember like the most obscure stuff from movies.
It's funny because I recently watched. I wouldn't say I watched it. I had it on because my son went through a dinosaur phase. So he kept wanting to watch Jurassic Park. Actually, there's a cartoon called Jurassic Park Cretaceous Park or Cretaceous something. And it was like 5 seasons long, and it was actually not bad. It was like an animated series. It's actually pretty good. I think it was Steven Spielberg was the producer, so it was actually high quality. But it was I was like pretty impressed by the cartoon. It was there's like pretty tense moments in the show. So
wow, I didn't even know they made it. I mean, the original still withstands the test of time. It's one of the greatest movies ever made. All the remakes sucked.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to, let's keep the list going. I don't want to open this can and then be a downer.
Yeah, it's Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous. That's what it was called. It's pretty good. It was for a cartoon made for kids. It was actually really good. John says, I wish the guys that made the all-pro selections make the top 100 list. That actually would be pretty good. I'm sure they would have a better idea than these bozos who vote in this list. All right, let's get to 60 to 51. We have 60, Raheem Mostert, 59, Bobby Wagner, 58, Christian Wilkins, 57, Justin Simmons, who's not on the team, 56, Stephon Diggs, 55, Brian Burns, 54, Jonathan Allen, 53, Zach Martin, 52, Patrick Surtain II, and 51, Keenan Allen. I think there's a lot wrong here. Like Bobby, first of all, Raheem Mostert, it's like he's 26 spots better than Saquon Barkley. Like, are you kidding me? Mostert's a byproduct of that offense, and he has a severe injury history. I don't know. I think that's a big mistake. Bobby Wagner, this is another member berry pick. Like he used to be a great player. He's not top 60 anymore. If you put him like 90 or 80, 85 to 95, like that's fine. But like 59, I think is way too high. Same thing with Zach Martin. He's 34. He's not nearly the same player he once was. I think this is just based on past reputation. Like this one, Justin Simmons, he's not on a team. Anyone could sign this guy right now. He's the 57th best player in the league is available. Hey guys, please sign me. It's like, okay. Like, what are they like? What are they thinking here? I actually think Simmons is a good player, but like, I think it's embarrassing that your 57th ranked player is not on a team. So,
well, I'll tell you what, it'll be interesting to see if Caleb Williams doesn't pan out. Keenan Allen is still 51, but that's
yeah.
I hope he does. I don't have anything against him, but
the fact that Keenan Allen's 51 and DJ Moore's not on this list, I think, is insane as well. Mm-hmm. That doesn't really make much sense. Yeah. John says Mac Jones was 85 in 2022. There were some bad ones.
The list. We still have half the list to go. He might be up here, so
it's true. It's true. Kim says, "I love Bobby Wagner, but this has to be a reputation." Yeah, no, for sure. Before we get to 50 onward, let me pull up some of the old picks. I have them at the top here. So it started with Chris Ivory. Let's see. 8 years ago, Carson Palmer was 12th, Blake Bortles was 56th. Chris Ivory was 78th, and I was like, oh my God, Chris Ivory is 78th. Are you effing serious? Chris Ivory is 78th. 7 years ago, DeMarco Murray was voted the 31st player in the NFL who lost his job during the year. And they ranked DeMarco Murray better than Joey Bosa, Bobby Wagner, Trent Williams, Jadeveon Clowney. The following year, Case Keenum was 51st. Case Keenum it was on this list at 51.
What year was that? Was that 2017? Or was
that had to be? Yeah, that had to be. So yeah, we're heading into 2018. So yeah, they ranked him over Phillip Rivers. So just an idea of where they put him. In 2020, they had Jimmy Garoppolo 43. Jimmy Garoppolo. This is what I wrote under that. Ha 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 ha. What the F is this? Ha ha ha. LOL. Wow. NFL players think Jimmy Garoppolo is better than JJ Watt. And then 2022, Mac Jones 85th. And then 2023 last year, Dalvin Cook was 91st, even though the Vikings cut him that offseason.
I wonder how much of this list is fake news, man. I think they're just trying to rile people up, maybe. Let's keep it going. I want to see what else we got. Oh, by the way, the Angels hang on and they're able to hang on and win, Walt.
Thank you for that. Thank you, Tom, for that.
Yeah, you know what? I took the Blue Jays at +140 because I only ever send you underdogs.
Yes.
I forgot to text it to you, and the Blue Jays came through yesterday. So I'm on 2 in a row on the underdogs now here. So I'll keep it going.
Well, thank you for the winning bet. I appreciate it.
Of course, yeah.
Matthias says Walt hating on the Vikings. I'm surprised at that. What? Dalvin Cook?
Walt doesn't hate on the Vikings that well. Okay, a couple seasons ago we really did.
Yeah, I mean, Dalvin Cook was cut. Like, is that what you're talking about, Matthias? And like, you're probably joking. I mean, Dalvin Cook was released. Like, there's no reason he should be 91st. All right, so 50, Rashawn Gary, 49, Derrick Henry, 48, Jared Goff, 47, Aiden Hutchinson, 46, Antoine Winfield, 45, Jamar Chase, 44, Demario Davis, 43, Kyle Hamilton, 42, Matthew Stafford, 41, Lane Johnson. Derrick Henry had 10 to 12 carries in a lot of games last year because he was splitting touches with Tajay Spears. Does that sound like someone who should be in the top 50? Like, this is another like memberberry guy, reputation guy, whatever you want to call it. Like, yeah, Derrick Henry for years was a top 50 player, or even higher, but now there's no way. And I feel like people aren't caught on to this. Like, whenever I say that I like the Ravens on there, like, people will ask me, like, what do you like betting wise? I'll spout off someone like Broncos on there, Giants on there, etc. I'll say Ravens on there. They're like, but they got Derrick Henry. It's like, well, this is not 2019, 2020. Like, the times have changed. It would be like saying, like, oh, Cowboys got Zeke. It's like, yeah, Henry at this stage is better than Zeke, but like he's kind of washed up. He's kind of washed at this point.
I don't know. I just, for some reason, and maybe it's just a quacky feeling other than, more than anything, I just don't see that working the way that everyone thinks it's going to work. And I can't tell you exactly. I mean, I'm sure that you could come up with more, some solid reasoning as to why, but like, I do not see it working the way people think it will. But hey, well, no, I don't know. I just think the Ravens are a team that are just always going to come up short, man. Like, I don't know.
I hope they come up short of 12 wins.
Yeah, I hope
that's my.
What do you have, under 11.5?
Yep, as minus 164, right, or 165. 165. I don't see that working either. And if you want a better reasoning, they lost 3 starting offensive linemen this offseason, and maybe the replacements are going to be good. They do draft well. I'll give them that. However, replacing 3 good offensive linemen, I just don't see that happening very well. Now, like, they could get better as the season progresses, for sure, especially the right tackle is a 2nd-round pick. But I mean, Henry's not going to have the same great blocking he had in those great years with Tennessee, like when he had Taylor Lewan there and like Ben Jones and all that. Like, they had a great offensive line, and toward the end they didn't. And we saw it last year. Like, Henry was not nearly the same player, and he lost touches to Tajay Spears. So I don't see why he should be this high. I think that's a big mistake. Like, having Derrick Henry and Jamar Chase 4 spots apart, I think that's insane. Or like Aiden Hutchinson is only 2 players better than Henry. That doesn't make sense. Like, Henry should not be in the top 50. You
know what might be interesting? I wonder what the over-under for his carries is going to be, like, early on, because I feel like people, despite, that it might be well known, that he, wasn't getting as many touches, during the end of his tenure with Tennessee. I think people are probably of the belief that they're, like, he's going to be a major part of that offense, and he might be. But I don't know. I'd like to see what the over-under on carries is for Henry, like week 1, and take the under.
Okay.
So I don't know. Is that maybe something to think about too?
Could be. Yeah. I mean, they play the Chiefs, so they could be in a deficit as well. So that could help keep that number on there for sure. Or it could mean the carry prop is going to be low too. Mm-hmm. John says Lamar Jackson holding that DE could make him a factor. Yeah, for sure. But that's like, that could apply to any running back. I don't know. I don't like. He's not the same player he once was. Like, this is Derrick Henry 2020. Sure, it's not though. Is like he had 10 to 12 carries in a lot of games last year for a reason. And he's in his 30s. Like this, he should be declining at this point. He's taken a lot of hits over the years. So, all right, let's get to 40 to 31. We have 40 Davante Adams, 39 Joe Burrow, 38 Sauce Gardner, 37 Quinnen Williams, 36 Tua Tagovailoa, 35 Josh Hines Allen, who I was like, I had to be like, wait a second, who's that? But as Josh Allen, he changed his name to Josh Hines Allen. 34, No Cookie Jordan Love. 33, Puka Nacua. 32, Quincy Williams. 31, Deron Bland. I find it astonishing that people think that Jordan Love and Tua Tagovailoa are better than Joe Burrow.
That's why I'm shaking my head over here.
That's insane.
I mean, come on. And as a Packers fan, and I'm a huge fan of Jordan Love, and I hope and think he's going to really do well. Come on. Why? Over Burrow? No. Yeah. I don't think. Look, I think Love, like maybe after one more season, could be up here, and maybe he could be in the top 10 one day. But over Burrow, absolutely not. And even Davante Adams. I mean, come on. I don't think so.
Yeah, I think that's insane. I don't get it. Like, even if you're like, oh, Burrow gets hurt a lot, you can say the same thing about Tua.
Mm-hmm.
It's just and Love has 1 year. I think that's crazy. Quincy Williams. This is very strange. I would like to hear an opinion from Jets fans, but like, it's insane. I think that Quincy Williams is ranked ahead of Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner. Like, if I think Jets defense, I'm thinking Sauce or Quinnen Williams being the best players on the defense.
How confusing must it be at practice? Sorry to cut you off. I get they probably just call my number. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's like Quincy Williams is a good player. Like, he deserves to be in the top 100, but like I think that's insane to think that he's better than Gardner or Williams. Like, they're 1-2 easily in some order. I don't know who I'd have better, honestly. I just don't know. But like, they're certainly better, much better than Quincy Williams. I think Quincy, like, if 38 and 37 are fair spots for Gardner and Williams, then I think you could argue they should be higher. Like, Quincy Williams should probably be like 60 or 70, maybe 80. Like, there's that, like, 32s. I think is insane for Quincy Williams.
The Jets have 3 defensive players in the top 30, huh?
Top 40. But I think that I wonder if like people got confused with Quincy Williams and Quinnen Williams and like cast votes for Quincy Williams when they meant to bet cast votes for Quinnen Williams. What do you think about that?
I don't know, man. None of this seems to make a whole lot of sense. It's just
I think that's the best explanation you can come up with.
Let's keep going here. I'm interested to see how the rest of this. What I said Kelsey was going to be 28. Let's see. Yeah. And the reason I said I picked that because I thought maybe because you asked, like maybe it was a little lower than I thought. But let's. Yeah.
We have not seen Kelsey yet. Hold on. Cassandra says Henry led the league in carries last season, which I didn't check, but I believe you. But like, look at his game log. So. All right, hold on. So we have 15 carries. We have 11, 13, 12, 11, 10, 12. Like, I don't know. This is not the Derrick Henry of old. Where let's look at 2022 as a comparison. Like, you have a 13 here, and an 11 here. Those are blowouts. There's 2 blowouts. That's it. Like, he did not have fewer than 15 carries. He had 349 carries last year in 2022 compared to 280 last year. And so even still, like, even if he led the league in carries, like, they were definitely not giving him the full workload. Like, they were missing in Tajay Spears. And like these some of these like 11 carries, that was a 20-6 game, which like that Tampa game, that was, they weren't like complete out of it. I remember that game. 12 carries against Baltimore, 24-16. That was not a blowout. 13 carries here against Indy, 23-16, not a blowout. 15 carries here against New Orleans, 16-15, not a blowout. Like the only times he didn't get to 15 plus carries in 2022 were the 2 blowout games. Like, these are not blowouts, and he just wasn't getting the ball. So like, the Titans didn't think that like he was essential to the game plan. Like, that's what I'm saying. So.
Yeah, I think they did mix up the Williams. Remember the Williams Wall, the Williams brothers?
Yes.
Emmitt Smith. Yeah, wait, they were called the Williams Wall, right? And he called them the Williams Brothers.
The Williams Brothers, yeah. Oh man, I miss Emmett on TV. If I was a producer of NFL show on TV, I'd hire Emmett. I'd hire Emmett and Antonio Brown. Just like go nuts. Matthias says Jordan Love is too low. He should be top 5. The way every sucking his meat lately.
You ain't wrong.
Yeah,
and this furthers my point. I think as to why my Packers are gonna get crushed in Week 1 against the Eagles.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm telling you, I really do at some point, whether we do it tonight or another show. I really want you to like that game as much as I do. I want to. We'll get into it later, but I want to know like what your argument is for Green Bay in Week 1.
I would say this. Aton like the Eagles as well.
I think it's going to be like 35-10.
Okay.
I think it's going to be I think they're going to get absolutely rolled. I think my Packers are going to get rolled hard. So
okay.
I mean. I just said one it almost seems like it makes me nervous when I feel this confident, because what if I'm wrong? But I've never been wrong when I've been this confident. One of those, But I mean, again, let's see. If who knows who's going to play in the preseason? But if something crazy happens and there's an injury, obviously that's going to change. But so anyhow, we can keep moving on. We'll address it later.
Yeah. John says name reputation. I don't. Who are you referring to, John? That like. This is, even though it's like this comment was 4 minutes ago, I forgot who we were talking about. So it happens when we just keep talking.
Probably one of the Williams brothers.
Probably. The real DeMarque says, yeah, these picks were kind of biased. Yeah, I think so as well. Cassandra says Quincy ahead of Quinning doesn't make any sense, and I think you're right. I think they confused the two, sad as it is. Yeah, I really think they confused the two. I think the players like, who am I voting for here? Just check the wrong box.
They're probably like, just check them both.
It's a good strategy for like if you're running for office and like if you're going against like someone named like Bob Jones, like put your name on the ticket as like Rob Jones and like see what happens. Just like people don't know who they're voting for. Maybe that's a way to win an election or something.
Or next time you're running for homecoming king or something.
Yes. We go back to high school.
Yeah.
Like Billy Madison. Yeah, Billy Madison to go back to high school and try to be prom king. Bagley says, reminds me when John Brown and Jerron Brown were both on the Cardinals at the same time. You could troll people in fantasy auction drafts when nominating the wrong ones since they both say Jay Brown. Yeah, there was Ricky Williams and like Ricky X Williams. Remember that? Like there were 2 Ricky Williamses. Yeah.
Excuse me. Someone once told me that in their fantasy basketball draft, like maybe 2017, 2018, like prime Steph Curry, they accidentally drafted Seth Curry first because it just said S Curry.
That's horrible. You can't just do S like S Curry.
Yeah,
if you're a professional site, you just can't do it.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just hearsay. But anyhow.
All right, let's go into the top 30. We have 30 Deebo Samuel, 29 Khalil Mack, 28 Brock Purdy, 27 Nick Bosa, 26 Mike Evans, 25 Jalen Ramsey, 24 Dexter Lawrence, 23 Amon-Ra St. Brown, 22 Penei Sewell, 21 AJ Brown. So Brock Purdy is better than Joe Burrow, Tua Tagovailoa, Jordan Love, Matthew Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, Trevor Lawrence, Kirk Cousins. Brock Purdy's better than all of them. Okay.
I'm not even gonna give the benefit of a response.
Yeah, I don't.
I can't. No, get out of my face with that. That's. I can't believe that. Anyhow,
that's insane. The people think that Brock Purdy's better than them. Look, I like Brock Purdy. I think he's a good quarterback.
Yeah.
I think he deserves a spot on this list. But that spot should be like 80 to 100. If you swap Purdy, like if you swap Purdy with Lawrence, I wouldn't agree with Lawrence being 28. But if you did that, I think it would make more sense.
You're telling 40s whatever or not. You're telling me Aaron Rodgers is 91 or 92 and Brock Purdy's 28. I'm sorry, I can't.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
What do I know? I don't know anything.
That is so stupid. You could argue Mike Evans too high. I know he's coming off a great year, but he's 31. I expect him to decline. Amon-Ra St. Brown could be a little bit higher. AJ Brown could be a little bit higher. Sewell maybe should be higher, more than those guys.
We haven't seen Baker Mayfield's name yet either. So.
No, but we haven't seen Travis Kelce either too.
Yeah,
so he's in the top 20. You said what, 28? So
28, I said.
Yeah, so he's in the top 20. John says, won't the players write down Josh Allen too? Which Allen are you referring to? Yeah, well, that's why Josh Allen changed his name to Josh Hines Allen. If so, like just to get away from the other Josh Allen, I think it was a good move on his part, just to help his marketing, because that was I'll miss Rainmakers, but the one there are a few annoying things, but like one of the annoying things is like trying to find Josh Allen cards. But if you typed in Josh Allen, you get both Josh Allens. And it's like I don't see this defensive Jaguar player. Even though he's good, just like, I'm looking for the quarterback, not the defender.
Yeah.
Matt Dynasty says Mac LMAO. But yeah, Mac was great last year. He was terrific.
Apparently only for one game though.
I don't know, man. The Khalil Mack was dominant last year. He was one of the best defensive players in the NFL last year.
Only
one game Mac was good. No, he was maybe one game he was bad. He was great. He was great all year. This is a good point here. Johnny Detroit says, put Purdy on the Panthers. He doesn't touch the list. Yeah, put Purdy on half the league's rosters. Like, he doesn't touch the list. Mm-hmm. In fact, he's probably not the starter on half the league's rosters. I think it's a good experiment. Like, where doesn't he start? I don't think he starts for the Eagles. I don't think he starts for the Cowboys. I don't think he starts for the Packers. I don't think he starts for the Lions. We can keep going maybe after this list is over, but I think he's kind of league average, maybe at quarterback. I don't just a guess. I think he's probably 16th, 17th, 18th.
I bet he starts for the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
How about the Denver Broncos?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Bo Nix, not a Bo Nix guy.
Oh no, Bo Nix or Bo Callahan.
Yeah, I don't know. It depends on how many people went to Bo Nix's birthday party. But
I'll tell you what, I've been watching that movie every day for the last week.
Every day?
Yeah, I love it. It's for those of you who don't know what we're talking about. It's the movie Draft Day with Kevin Costner. It's unspeakably stupid, but I love it so much. I highly recommend it. Go ahead, Walt.
Why are you watching it every day though? Like,
I don't know. There's something very comforting about it. Like, I fall asleep to it.
Oh, okay.
It's like there's something like weirdly familiar. There are a couple funny parts, but like it is so stupid. The trade they make with the Jaguars. It's like
he bullies the GM of the Jaguars. He's like, you're new. Like, what? It's so stupid. They're so dumb. This movie.
I love
and
it.
I will never get over like that. The whole thing with Jennifer Gardner. That's her name, right? Yeah. I thought the entire time leading up to the scene in the closet, I thought he was her dad. And like he's, I guess like I missed the little parts where because I was working while I was watching, and I really thought he was her dad. And like they started making out in the closet. I'm like, oh, this is weird. It took a turn. It's like,
yeah, you're like, what is this, Game of Thrones or something?
Right, it's even worse. It's even worse than Cersei and Jamie. Man, that's horrible. I'm like, oh wait, that's his girlfriend, not his daughter.
There's so many weird parts in the movie, and like at the end, they're like, they tell his mom's like, you're gonna be a grandma. It's like, it's so cringy, man. There's so many cringy parts to it, but
like all this stuff is occurring on like his busiest day of the year. Like he's burning he's like he's putting down his, like, he's scattering the ashes on like draft day. Like he can't wait till Sunday. I don't understand. Like they just like trying to cram everything. When the draft's over, like just wait till Sunday. I don't know. This is so stupid. Like, they're trying to cram everything into this one draft day to make it like extra hectic for him. It's such a dumb movie. It was entertaining, but it was really stupid.
I agree. But I love to watch it. So anyhow,
Baggett says, I remember when Jarvis Green and Ben Jarvis Green Ellis were on the Patriots at the same time. Feels like a glitch in the Matrix.
BGE, man.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. In fact, this is now the other Josh Allen needs to change his name to Josh Hines Allen. Yeah. Or like Josh Allen Hines, and like just really messing people. Like, wait, which one is it? Or remember there used to be a Jordan Cameron in the NFL. There was a Cameron Jordan and Jordan Cameron. And that really messed me up. I would always have to like, wait, Jordan Cameron, which one's Jordan Cameron, which one's Cameron Jordan? So Cameron Jordan the Saints, Jordan Cameron's Browns. Like I would just have to like think about it.
Should change his name to Josh Hines Ward.
Yeah. Josh Hines Ward Allen.
Oh man.
John says if you take away Mac's best game, he still put up 15 sacks. Yeah, no, he was terrific last year. He was a top 10 player last year. Now, if you want to project outward to 2024, you could argue, yeah, he's older, maybe he declines. I'd be shocked if he has the same sort of season. But yeah, he definitely deserves to be in the top 30. 100%. All right, so 20-11. We have CJ Stroud, number 20, 19, Roquan Smith, 18, Justin Jefferson, 17, Micah Parsons, 16, Dak Prescott, 15, Jalen Hurts, 14, George Kittle, 13, CeeDee Lamb, 12, Josh Allen, the quarterback, 11, Fred Warner. So Dak Prescott led the league in interceptions in 2022, and now he's the 16th best player. So how do you like that for a quick turnaround? So pretty good. I think this is okay. Like, yeah, Justin Jefferson could be higher, so I don't hate on the Vikings with Tyson. I think Parsons could be higher. I think Kittle should be lower than 14, or like, he should probably be like in the 40 to 50 range. I like Kittle a lot, but like, yeah, he's not the 14th best player in the NFL. I think you could say Josh Allen could be higher. Fred, I mean, these are all great players for the most part, except for Prescott. I like outside of that, I think this is okay. Any thoughts here before we get to the grand finale, which is going to be incredible?
Yeah, I think Jefferson should be a little higher.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of CJ Stroud, and he had an incredible year, obviously, but 20 after 1 year, I'm just surprised it's that. I mean, he did play great, but I mean, Dak is 16, I guess. Okay. I don't
know. I mean, it was the best rookie quarterback season ever. So
right. And I guess what do I know?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, you could argue it's premature, but a year from now, would you be surprised if like Stroud is like 5th or 6th? I wouldn't be like if he's even better than he was last year, which could be possible because they have Stephon Diggs now. I think that definitely be the case, and if they get to the AFC Championship, or even if they win the Super Bowl, I have them at 12-5 this year, so they could definitely win the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. If that happens, if Stroud wins the Super Bowl this year, like he's going to be top 10 for sure next year. So. Yeah,
I agree with for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, people in the comments here I'm seeing are saying Stroud's too high, Johnny Detroit and Cassandra. I don't know. I mean, I think if you're saying like based on 2023, yes, he's too high. But I think that you're projecting him to continue to get better. Like he just had the best rookie season ever, and I don't see a reason why he would regress. Like, yeah, there is a thing called sophomore slump, but they added Stephon Diggs. Like. He has Diggs, Nico Collins, and Tank Dell the third two, and Dalton Schultz. A decent offensive line, Joe Mixon in the backfield, like a great offense coordinator. Like, I think this team's loaded, and I think they're going to be so strong next year. I think that, like I said, I wouldn't be shocked if we're like Stroud 6th next year. That makes sense.
Cowboys have 3 players in the top 17, huh?
Yeah. America's most overrated team.
Just making observations here.
Yeah. All right. So George Kittle, LOL. Yeah, too high for Kittle. Bagley says there was a lineman named Willis Patrick in the draft this year. He didn't get picked.
Oh,
that's funny. John says, yeah, I'd definitely take Fred Warner over Josh Allen if I was starting a franchise. So a sarcastable comment there. Yeah, no, it's kind of insane. The Josh Allen should be higher for sure. Although, I mean, Fred Warner is an amazing player. So, in fact, says Dak is not 65-ish spots better than Cousins. No way. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, I mean, Dak is not coming off the Achilles tear, and he's younger. So I think I would definitely put him ahead of Cousins. But yeah, he had the most interceptions in the NFL in 2022, so he's not too far removed from that. Yeah, John says I haven't heard Kelsey's name yet. So Kelsey made the top 10.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I think because you asked me where do I think he is, I thought he was going to be lower than maybe where I thought. I probably would have guessed like top 20. Probably not top 10 though, but because you asked, I thought it was going to be lower, so that's why I went with 28.
Okay.
But really, I know nothing.
Evie says, really, and you won't watch House of the Dragons?
Well, because you're saying because I watch Draft Day every day. Mm-hmm. No, but I just kind of fall asleep to it. But I feel like I have to finish Game of Thrones first, or the first 6 seasons or 7 seasons?
6, only 6.
6 before I start that. I know it's the prequel, but that's only going to confuse me further. So I have to finish one.
I don't. You won't like. It doesn't affect anything. It's 200 years in the past. Like there aren't any spoilers for it. Obviously, it's because it's in the past. So you could definitely watch. You could watch them simultaneously if you wanted to.
Oh, okay.
But I will say this: the first episode of House of Dragons was slow. I remember thinking like, man, is this gonna be good? But then it really picks up. So it's a unique show in that like the first season. They have there's a 10-year gap between episode 1 and 2, and another, maybe not 10, it's 5-year gap between episode 1 and 2, and another 5-year gap between episode 2 and 3. They actually have to change 2 of the actresses because they go too far into the future, but then they stop it. So they're kind of fast forwarding it from the beginning to the Civil War between the Targaryen. There's a Targaryen split. It's called the Green Dragons and the Black Dragons, and so there's a civil war between the two factions, and so the first 5-6 episodes are building toward that civil war and how it started, and then now it's there's no time jumps now, so I eventually there will be because it's supposed to be or at least I think it's the history of the Targaryens. Germ with the 269 super chat. Thank you so much, Germ. Really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you so much. Like I say, these YouTube ads pay nothing, so these contributions are they're so meaningful for us. So really appreciate it. Okay, so Johnson, you should have Quacky predict the top 5. Okay, why don't we do that? So okay. All right, so let's jump in here. I'll go down slowly. So here we go. Okay. Yes.
Well, I just saw 5.
Oh crap! Yeah. So
that's okay. That's fine. I'll just.
The top 4 is more important. Trust me. 10, Max Crosby. 9. There's your boy Travis Kelce. Wow. Number 9, who he couldn't catch passes at all last year, but sure. Number 8, T.J. Watt. Number 7, Trent Williams. Number 6, Chris Jones. Number 5, Myles Garrett. So before we get to the top 4, we have Kelce at number 9. Again, he couldn't catch a ball last year. He had a great playoff run for sure. But that was 3 games, and just the entire season he was dreadful. And now he's at their 34, 35. I don't he's not a top 10 player anymore. Sorry, Travis Kelce, you're just not. He deserves to be on this top 100 list. I don't know where I'd put him, probably 60, 70, something like that. I think he's declined considerably. But yeah, I think Sam Laporta should be ahead of him. I think Mark Andrews should be ahead of him. Is Mark Andrews even on this list? I don't remember calling his name.
I don't think he was.
No, I don't think he was. So he should be on my snubs list. I just missed that. Laporta should be ahead of him. Andrews should be ahead of him. I think Kittle should be ahead of him. I think you could argue Kincaid should be ahead of him. Maybe he hasn't proven it yet, but I think by this time next year, I think we will recognize Kincaid is better than Kelce. And yeah, I think that, I think they should be 60, 70, 80. So yeah. So John says, I'll give you $40 if you correctly predict the top 4. I'll give $10. You can't even give him the names. No, not 40, 10. Okay, so $10. All right, Tom, $10 on the line. Let's go. We have. I'm not going to name
in the correct order, or can I just name the players?
No, you have to do them. I assume, John. Maybe you can say something about this. I think it has to be in the correct order. I think there are. I'm going to look myself. I can't remember if the names are obvious. 2 of them are for sure. All 4 should be obvious. You should know the name. Yeah, correct order. Okay. 4 to 1. 4 to 1. Tell us for $10. Let's go.
Okay. Well, let me give you the names that I think it's going to be first, and then let me rank them.
Well, I think you should close your eyes so like you know that you're
Okay.
not cheating. Not that you would cheat, but
Okay, let me give the names and then I'll rank them. I mean, McCaffrey's got to be in there. Lamar Jackson, even though I think he's overrated, I don't think he should be in there. But
okay.
I mean, I think he should be high. But who am I missing? Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
And then I guess Tyreek Hill, right? I mean, we haven't seen him yet, and there's no way he's not on the list. So
Okay. All right. So yeah, the four you said who again?
McCaffrey, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, and Tyreek Hill.
Okay.
That's hold on, but let me give you the order. I think it's going to be.
All right. Who's number 4?
I think it should be Lamar Jackson.
Is that what? Okay.
Yeah, and then I think 3 should be. I guess 3 McCaffrey, 2 Hill, and well, I'll go 2 Mahomes, 1 Hill because I don't know. I just think like say Mahomes is number 1 is like too chic.
Okay.
How'd I do?
All right. Well, let's see. Did you win us $10? No. Patrick Mahomes number 4. 3 is
really okay.
3 is Christian McCaffrey, 2 Lamar Jackson, 1 Tyreek Hill.
Okay, so I got a couple of them there, huh?
Yeah. I mean. I think you said McCaffrey 3, if I'm not mistaken. So
I think I just mixed up 2 and 4.
Yeah, you mixed up 2 and 4. That's
they think Lamar Jackson is better than Mahomes. I mean, I guess, but I don't. Well, I don't know.
$2 consolation prize. Thank you, John. I really appreciate it. Nice, thanks.
I guess I know something, huh?
Yeah. This is absurd. There's no one in the right mind who would take Lamar Jackson over Patrick Mahomes.
Even after got the Perseverance Award at the Olympics.
right. This is crazy. Patrick Mahomes has 3 Super Bowls. He's the best quarterback in the NFL. If anyone, like, if you just were to make everyone a free agent and a team had to choose first, they would take Patrick Mahomes, or like they'd be insane. It doesn't make any sense. Lamar Jackson has not finished the season in 2 of the last 3 years. And he has not gone past the AFC Championship. Like he got there once last year, and he got embarrassed against the Chiefs. Like Mahomes beats him almost every time they play each other. He's the better athlete, but like Mahomes is just so much better than Lamar Jackson. I don't
think he's a better athlete.
I mean, like running, like running, jumping, like he's faster than Mahomes, like much faster. Mahomes is like super nifty in the pocket. Like he's just amazing at like avoiding pass rushers and like seeing the field. Like he's so good at that. But like 40-yard dash, like it's like no competition, you know, or the vertical jump, broad jump. Like Lamar Jackson is going to beat him in everything. But just based on quarterback wise, like Mahomes is a million times better than Jackson. I think that's crazy. Like Mahomes, and I wrote this on the site. I'm like, congratulations, players. You've given Patrick Mahomes his 3rd consecutive Super Bowl, because Mahomes has a huge chip on his shoulder at all times. Like I won't forget this. This was, I think, in 2020 or 2021. He was going up against the Jets and like that week, and the Jets were really bad. That was like one of the years they were terrible, and the Chiefs were like favored by like 13.5 or 14. And Mahomes in a Wednesday press conference, he goes, I really thought the Jets are going to draft me. I was so upset when the Jets didn't draft me. I was like, oh my God, he's going to destroy the Jets. Like it's going to be insane. And like that score, it was like 52 to like 24, like whatever. He threw for 5 touchdowns in that game. Like this guy, like, and remember that Bears game on Sunday Night Football? He kept going like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5. Like he has such a chip on his shoulder. He sees that he's number 4. He's worse than Lamar Jackson. Can you imagine how motivated he's going to be? Like the Chiefs are -3 against the Ravens in week 1. Like this is the matchup. We'll get it right away on Thursday night. Like the Chiefs are going to destroy the Ravens. I really like the Chiefs. Like now Mahomes is going to be super motivated in this game.
You think where do you think the public's going to go on that one, or where are they?
We have no public data yet, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to be too lopsided out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely, obviously the Ravens are going to want to get revenge, but I think this is going to. I agree. I like the Chiefs in this spot too.
Yeah. I mean, you have. I think Slew brought it up. He said that the Chiefs have this great defensive line with Chris Jones and George Karlaftis, and Baltimore lost 3 starting offensive linemen this offseason. Like it's such a big matchup in the trenches, and now you got a Mahomes who's going to be super motivated. Like he's going to kill them. I think it's going to be a blowout. I think about it.
Yeah, I really like the. I mean, I think the Ravens are going to be a playoff team, but they're going to fall below expectations, especially after the Henry signing. So I expect, especially early in the season, for them to have some letdowns. So I'm with it. I'm on board.
Okay. I think Tyreek Hill at 1 is kind of crazy. I know you said he's one to be chic, but he's an aging receiver. Like, yeah, he was just amazing last year before he got hurt. But what is he, 30? I think he turned 30. Let me make sure. Yeah, he just turned 30 this offseason. Like, to make a 30-year-old receiver number 1 in the NFL, that's crazy. If you wanted to make it Christian McCaffrey, I could maybe understand it, but and even McCaffrey has this like big workload attached to him, so I feel like he might get injured this year. If I had the number 1 fantasy pick, I still might take McCaffrey, but I wouldn't feel good about it because like that's just such a big workload. I think that he's just going to wear down. So I think anyone but Mahomes at number 1 is crazy. Like I really can't make an argument for anyone else. Like I'm looking at this list, like Myles Garrett's just you have to say he's the best defensive player in the NFL right now that Aaron Donald's gone. But even still, he still was starting a franchise with Mahomes. Like there's no other answer. Like I said before, if everyone's a free agent and you can pick anyone to start your team with, it's Mahomes. There's no question about it.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, especially at 4. I mean, I thought he'd definitely be top 2,
Yeah, if they made him 2 and like they're like, Tyreek Hill or McCaffrey, I'm like, oh, fine, whatever.
Just to not be basic like everyone else.
Right.
Put him at 1. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's like trying to be contrarian for the sake of being contrarian. Fine,
Right,
whatever.
right.
That's stupid. But to like rank another quarterback ahead of him, like a guy who's never been to the Super Bowl and a guy who always seems to lose to this one guy, like,
yeah.
I don't know, man. That's crazy to me. I think that's insane. Bagley says, I don't think Lamar Jackson's own parents think Lamar Jackson's better than Mahomes. I completely agree. Cassandra says this is effing retarded. Yeah. Matthias says, for starting a franchise, I would take every rookie contract quarterback than Lamar and many other quarterbacks on contracts. Mahomes is the only way I will take. Yeah, there's an exception to every rule. Yeah, you're right. Like the rookie quarterback stuff, if you're factoring the contracts, yeah, you want to take the guys who aren't paid that much so you can dedicate the money elsewhere. But like Mahomes, there's a reason why the Super Bowl winner is always like Mahomes or a newly signed guy to really propel a team, or it's a guy in his rookie deal. And I'm talking about like Tom Brady or Matthew Stafford with that second category. Whereas like the team was already good, but they needed like an all-pro quarterback to boost them. So these guys come in, and that's why I thought like the Broncos would be good with Russell Wilson, but little did I know that Russell Wilson would be washed up. But typically this strategy works as well. So it's like 3 categories of ways to win a Super Bowl with this quarterback. It's like that, the rookie deals because you get to dedicate so much money elsewhere, or it's Patrick Mahomes, and before it was Mahomes and Brady, with Brady being on New England. But now it's like Mahomes is just so good that he can make up for his massive contract. So yeah, I like for sure it's definitely Mahomes, rookie deal or not. John says reminds me of when the Bengals called Arrowhead Burrowhead. Yeah, Mahomes is gonna be so motivated, it's gonna be crazy. Like I said, I already like the Chiefs, and now so much more. Sue says, can y'all name a couple of potential candidates to replace the Chargers -3.5 as the scariest bet in football going forward?
Oh, you don't like the Superchargers?
Well, we were talking about how the Chargers -3.5 was just such a bad number because they were an overrated team that was very poorly coached, and so they would almost never cover the number. I think that a good I feel like any NFC South team really, and maybe Falcon. No, I mean, well, it depends. So Raheem Morris is coach of the Falcons. I don't think Raheem Morris is that good of a coach. I think he's a great defensive coordinator, but I think he's one of these coaches he was a proven loser in Tampa. Like that team quit on him that one year. I think it was 2011. I don't think Raheem Morris is a good head coach, but Atlanta is going to be very hyped up, and it's like the Chargers, hyped up team, not that good, and a bad head coach. Like I think Atlanta, whenever Atlanta's a favorite this year, I think if you fade them, I think you're going to make out very well. I think the Saints. I think actually you could talk about every team in the NFC South except for the Panthers because the Panthers aren't hyped up. But I think the Saints and Buccaneers. Like I think the Buccaneers are way overrated. They're a regression candidate, and the Saints are extremely poorly coached. Dennis Allen. I don't have his record as a favorite, but his record as a favorite in the spread. I guess the spread I know is horrible. So yeah, any team in the NFC South right now.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I think you're mentioning that Falcons game. I'm pretty sure for sure I want the Steelers on our card. I think unless anything crazy happens injury wise, that one I definitely want. And then I see Cassandra's mentioning the Saints too. I like the Panthers. They're playing. That's who they play, right? I like the Panthers.
Yeah, it's so I'm texting my wife. Saints. The Saints are -4.5. So yeah, I like the Panthers for sure.
I think that's an easy one.
Yeah, I agree. That's going to be on my card, I think.
Yeah, I really like those. Anyhow, I'm just thinking out loud. We can keep it moving here with the comments.
Yeah. John says Dolphins are now tied to him for the next 3 years without the ripcord for the parachute.
Hill? Hey, who has more kids, Tyreek Hill or Cromartie? Remember Cromartie? Didn't he have like 11?
Oh my god, yeah, they had a lot of kids. So yeah, I mean, if I don't know when Cromartie's kids will age into the NFL, but I think like Tyreek Hill's going to have like 4 kids this year. I think it's crazy with different women. It's crazy. So that's what I was saying. Like 2045 drafts gonna be insane.
I feel like Cromartie's kids are probably getting close though. Well, probably just like the college ball. Because when was he like? He was on the Jets, right? When they were like 09, 2010.
Yeah. So so his kids will be 14 now. So
if that was when he started, yeah.
So give it like 8 more years. So the 2032 draft, 2033 draft.
There you go.
There we go. Yep.
I'll be on the lookout.
my mock drafts will be like Cromartie.
Yeah. And then it'll be worse than the Quincy and Quinnen Williams situation.
Yeah. Right. All right,
let's keep it rolling here.
Yeah. John says Jaguars always were hard to figure out last year. Well, not at the end. Not at the end though. Like when Lawrence is getting hurt every week and like it's a different injury. I think they were easy to bet against late in the year, but I don't know if you're talking about like first half of the year. I don't know. Like it was weird. Like they lost to the Texans in week 3, but like that was before we knew the Texans were going to be good. But they were 9-point favorites against Houston, and they lost outright. And then week 4 they beat Atlanta. Week 5 they beat Buffalo. But they had the advantage. They had the advantage of being in London for that week, which I think is going to be tremendous for them. So we'll find out. They have the same thing this year, so it's going to help them out a lot.
Agreed. I remember we put Jacksonville on the card against Buffalo.
Did we? Okay.
I remember that for a fact because remember I ran into somebody through my work that was like, the Jaguars suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, at least the tickets will be cheap. It's like, you idiot. And I was like, we got to take the Jags next week, and that was that game against the Bills.
I remember that now. Sue says Cassandra's eligible to wear the bag over the head when watching the Saints play.
It's one of the ain'ts.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah. Cassandra says Saints plus or minus anything is terrifying. Yeah. Dennis Allen is that bad.
I don't want to show up to a sporting event in any sort of costume. You ever there's like this guy like he's dressed up like a freaking tiger at the Bengals game. It's like,
oh yeah. But the Raiders would have always they'd always have those guys when they were in Oakland. They'd have like Darth Raider and they'd have all those guys dressing up.
Could you imagine like getting your whole face painted up and doing all that? You go to the game and you lose like 40-0 or something. Dude, that'd be freaking hilarious. Remember David Putty? Remember when David Putty painted his face like the devil for the Devils hockey game? Oh my god, that's freaking great.
I think that applies to anything, like going to a sporting event and watching your team get blown out, like dressed up or not, like that's feel bad no matter what, because you're buying these expensive tickets. You're taking time to go to this location, usually downtown, where it's like heavy traffic. You have to sit in this parking lot forever. You have to pay a lot for parking. You have to pay a lot for food, and you have to like wait to get out because there's insane traffic. And like this whole experience, it would at least feel better if you watch your team win. But if you watch your team get blown out, or even if it's like a close loss and you feel good about it because you have a young team, it's fine. But like the last sporting event I went to, it's like 6 or 7 years ago. I took my dad to see a Flyers game for his birthday, and they lost 4-0 to Vancouver. It was just like such a dreadful game. Like they could get nothing going. Vancouver outplayed them. They out hustled them. It didn't look like they looked like they're like hungover or something. They just didn't care. And it was just like such a bad experience. It's like we had to deal with all this crap that is associated with the game or driving to the game. It's just like, oh man, my dad even said like, thanks for the tickets, but I'd rather watch on TV. I'm like, yeah, I think you're probably
right. Yeah, that's bad. Like I've been to a couple games, like as a fan, like I've been to a couple bad Magic blowouts. But like one time it was like when they were really bad already, I didn't care. But one was, remember when I went up to Boston for Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals in 2010? Mm-hmm. And it was such a cool day. Like I drove all the way up there. It took me like 10 hours, 11 hours from Philly. And it was an awesome day. I met my friend up there. We went to Game 6, and except the Magic got their asses kicked. Like it was over before it began. One time I went to a Phillies game. This was 2010, so this was a couple of, so they had won the World Series 2 years prior, and they made it to the World Series the year previous again, but lost to the Yankees. So this was like the heyday of like Cole Hamels and Ryan Howard, and they had Chase Utley. The team was Jimmy Rollins. The team was stacked.
Yeah.
I went to a game in June 2010. They were hosting the Twins, the Minnesota Twins. The Phillies were up by 5 in the 9th inning and lost the game. And I witnessed the whole thing go down. And I remember because Jim Thome was playing for the Twins at the time. And if you remember, he was a fan. He was one of my favorite players. He's a Hall of Famer. Jim Thome is one of my favorite players of all time. And he used to play for the Phillies. So he came in to pinch hit in 9th. Phillies are up by 5. There's a man on, and like the whole stadium's clapping for him because he used to play on the Phillies. Like, hey, like we appreciate you. Freaking hits a 2-run homer. And people were like, well, like, thanks. We appreciate what you did when you were here, but you weren't supposed to do that. So anyhow, that was, remember the Phillies had Brad Lidge. He was perfect the year that they won the World Series, but like he always made it interesting, always. Yeah. And then they had like this, it was like the parade of like mediocre at best relievers that they brought out. And then I'll never forget, with 2 outs in the 9th, they brought in Brad Lidge, and freaking Joe Mauer hit a freaking 2-run homer to tie the game, and with 2 outs in the 9th. And I was like, am I really watching this? And actually they took the lead in the 9th, and then the Phillies tied it. It went to extra innings, and they still lost. I contend, so this is 2010, so it wasn't like you had internet on your phones, but it wasn't like not everyone had it. I think that there are some people that were in attendance at that Phillies game that to this day do not know that the Phillies lost that game.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you went,
I bet it's a non-zero number.
Yeah, if you went and you got like sloshed, and you're hopefully didn't drive home, or someone else drove you home. Like,
leave the game early.
Right, they probably like, oh, I remember that game. They were off 5. They were 1 by 5. What a great time. So yeah, I think you're probably right about that.
Yeah, I think it's I really think it's I'm certain it's a non-zero number.
Yeah, the parade of relievers, by the way, they used to call it the bridge to Lidge on the announcing team.
I just remember they had that guy Antonio Bastardo.
Tony Bastard.
Yeah. One time, when Charlie Manuel was still managing, like he came in to like take out the starter, and like you could, like I'm watching the TV broadcast, and you just hear this voice yell, "Not Bastardo, Charlie." I freaking died, man. I freaking died because it was like we knew the routine, man. We knew the act. Dude, Lidge, like he almost made you want to take up smoking, man.
I know.
That was stressful. Like every time it was like first and second, nobody out in a 1-run game. But he always, especially the year that he was perfect, he never blew a save. Yeah. But he'd like load the bases with 2 outs and stuff. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It was like, dude.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he really made it interesting. Besides this, I only have one snub for this list. I think for sure it is Christian Darrisaw. I would be shocked if you had someone else. But Christian Darrisaw is on my snub list. John asking Joe Tooney. I consider Joe Tooney. The only reason I said no is because they won the Super Bowl without him in the playoffs, which is maybe kind of a stupid reason. Nick Allegretti did a great job replacing him, but like he could definitely be on this list ahead of some other guys. So Joe Tooney probably should be on this list, but he didn't make my top 10 snubs. Although John says Walt will probably think Breece Hall. I'm kicking myself because I forgot about Breece Hall. Breece Hall is a snub for sure. Like, how is Mostert better than Breece Hall? That's crazy. Breece Lightning needs to be on this list. Matthias 100% Darrisaw. Yeah, it's embarrassing that Christian Darrisaw is not on this list. Sanchez, it's like driving back from a casino after a losing session, 3 hours of misery in the car. You don't even stop for food and drink because you're broke. That's same principle for sure. It's always feel bad. You always want like at least have like a good story or something, or if you hooked up with a girl, or at least got a girl's number or something. Like at least like there, you got something out of it. But like if you just gambled and that's the only thing you did and you lost, and it's pretty rough.
I've been there too many a time.
All right, let's get to the snubs. So I forgot Breece Hall. My apologies, should be here. Christian, alphabetical order by last name. Christian Darrisaw, one of the best left tackles in the NFL. Like, how is he not on this list? It's very embarrassing that he's not. I mentioned best center in the NFL, Creed Humphrey, best center. Now that Jason Kelsey's gone, especially. And that's another reason why to think this is for 2024. No Aaron Donald, no Jason Kelsey, where Kelsey was last year. Creed Humphrey is the best center in the NFL, and that's an important position. It's not like kicker or something. He should
hungry Humphrey.
Yes. That's Jalen Johnson, cornerback for the Bears. When he wasn't in the lineup last year, their pass defense was terrible, and it really improved when he's there. He's a really talented corner. Jordan Mailata, another talented tackle. He was once a 7th round pick and a former rugby player, but now he's one of the most like athletic left tackles in the NFL. Darrisaw is better, but I think that Mailata should be on this list too. DJ Moore, we talked about him. Quentin Nelson, I think the best guard in the NFL. He's not on this list. Like best guard, not on this list. Best center doesn't make sense. Chris Olave.
So is he on the same team as Quentin Williams?
No. So that would have been more confusing.
I'm just being an ass.
Chris Olave, imagine if he was paired with a quarterback who wasn't Derek Carr or Jameis Winston or Andy Dalton.
Imagine if he was paired with Brock Purdy, huh?
There you go. Yeah, maybe the Niners could trade for him after they trade.
Yeah.
Olave I think is super talented. He should be in this list. This is the trend of tackles here. Rashawn Slater, Andrew Thomas. These guys are all awesome. Like these great left tackles. They're not on this list. I think that the players voting here just don't know how to like look at offensive linemen or something. And then Devon Witherspoon, who was the number 5 pick overall last year. So yeah, second year, but Stroud was number 20. Like Witherspoon was amazing in his rookie year. I think he should have made the cut. But yeah, Breece Hall I missed. You can make a case for Tooney, as John pointed out. There are a lot of snubs on this list. A lot of guys who didn't deserve to be on it. So once again, horrible list here by the players.
Hey, I'll tell you what. Imagine if Chris Olave had a guy like Dak Prescott, the number 16 player in the league, throwing to him.
Yep. There'd be interceptions,
then you'd really, that would be something truly a sight to behold.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Do you want to get into Game of Thrones? You watched a monumental episode, episode 4. Season 4, episode 2. The Purple Wedding, as it's called, every time there's a wedding in Game of Thrones, something crazy goes down. So, what were your impressions of the episode? Spoiler alert: Joffrey Baratheon is no longer with us.
Yes,
he was poisoned by the wine. So, So, what do you think?
So I first off, I thought the episode did a really great job at the end of really, really building the tension with everything that was going on, just like from the passive aggressiveness between Tywin and Cersei and Oberyn, just that interaction. And then like the midget, jesters coming out and reenacting the 5 kings. I was like, man, it was interesting because I thought it was kind of a twist to me because I thought more was going to happen. And I definitely didn't expect Joffrey to die like the way he did. I thought it was going to be different. So I thought that was cool how it was a twist different than I expected, I guess. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm glad. And kudos to Jack Gleason, who portrays Joffrey. You hate that character so much. That's always a sign of a great acting performance. So.
Yeah, he told the story before where like he walks them down the street and they're like "F you, Joffrey." Like it's a great sign for sure. John says Nico Collins is a bigger snub than Olave, put up better stats. Well, I'll challenge you this: like if you put Collins on the Saints to play with Derek Carr and you put Olave on the Texans to play with CJ Stroud, I'd be shocked if Olave's numbers weren't better than Collins' last year, and I'd be shocked if Collins' stats were as good as Olave's last year. So I think it depends on who the quarterback is. Yeah, Collins definitely had better numbers, but I think Olave is just a special talent that he's been stuck with awful quarterbacking so far. And Cassandra says, since there's no more Rainmakers, enjoy your softcore nerd poor thing. Yeah, I don't know. It sucks, and I'm really gonna miss Rainmakers opening these packs with Kenny and making lineups. It's so fun. All right, with Game of Thrones, there's like 4 things in this episode that stood out to me that I wanted to bring up to you. It was mentioned in this episode that Rhaegar left Elia for another woman. So Elia was the sister of Prince Oberyn. So they mentioned, and Rhaegar was he was the heir to the throne after the Mad King, and so Rhaegar was married to Elia and he had kids with her, but he left her for another woman. They brought that up. I thought that was important because they're going to mention Elia again with Oberyn wanting revenge, getting revenge for that, and even you mentioned tension. There's tension with Oberyn as well, talking to Tywin Lannister. So,
yeah. Oh, go ahead. I don't want to preempt any of your questions here.
Okay, and well, that's all I had for that category. I don't know if you wanted to say anything about that.
Well, I will say. Well, I don't know how to answer it without getting into the rest of it. I mean, as far as like who I think did it, mm-hmm. I think it's anyone but Tyrion. First of all, I think.
Okay, yeah. So we're jumping ahead to who killed Joffrey. I wanted to point out a couple other things.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So at the wall, there was Janos Slint was there. I don't know if you recognized him. He was the bald guy, and he was kind of like he's like the lackey to the guy that Jon Snow hates with the blonde curly hair. Janos Slint was the Lord Commander of the City Watch when the City Watch that arrested Ned Stark. And then remember, Tyrion sent that guy to the wall because he didn't trust them. He's like, you arrested one, hand of the king. He's like, I don't trust you. Remember, they're having like a dinner or something like that, and he sent that guy to the wall, and the guy finally arrived to the wall now in season 4. So
okay. I think I vaguely remember it, but
yeah. So that was the so okay. And that's all I had for that. So yeah. So I was gonna ask you like who killed Joffrey, because I think that you could say it was almost everyone. Obviously not Cersei, right? Jaime would not kill his own son. Tywin would not kill. Well, Tywin would not kill his grandson. I don't think, and because he already had power over Joffrey. He didn't really have a reason to kill him. And you said Tyrion, like I it doesn't make sense for Tyrion to kind of incriminate himself like that. So outside, I feel like everyone else is fair game as far as the suspects is concerned. So who do you think did it?
Well, I've got it narrowed down to 3 people. I think it's either Old Mother Hubbard Tyrell,
okay,
who was complaining to Tywin about the expense, or he was bickering with Tywin about the expenses of the wedding. Oberyn, of course, is a suspect, because he was out to exact revenge, of course. But maybe that's too obvious. I also think because Sansa picked up the cup and handed it to, not that in and of itself, just that act was where she slipped in poison or anything, but I think that symbolized, she's put up with a lot from Joffrey, and let alone the way he's treated her, but her family members have died under his command, and he just continues to rub it in her face, and for the most part, like, she hasn't said a word to him about it. So I really think she stayed like a little too quiet. So I would say she's my first choice for who poisoned him.
And you mentioned Olenna Tyrell, the Queen of Thorns, but you didn't mention a reason for her doing it. Like, you mentioned reasons for the other two. Why do you think it's her?
I don't know, just the way she was talking to Tywin right before. Like, she seemed like pretty like, I don't know. There was like an air of like, I know something you don't, like, about it, and I don't really have much more other than that. Just a feeling, because she was just like, oh, like, we helped with the, we had helped with this or whatever, with, like, they were talking about like how, like, paying for the wedding and how much they paid for a war and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't trusted her from jump either. So, which is fine, because I'm glad, I'm glad what transpired as a watcher of the show. But I really do think it was Sansa. I would say for sure she's my first choice.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, you'll. It's a shame you didn't watch 403, because they get into. They won't tell you who killed him, Joffrey, but they will say they'll point out one of the co-conspirators. And this person did not kill Joffrey because he was not at King's Landing at the time. But they like, he had knowledge of the event that was going to happen. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you'll see that interaction with him and some other characters. So there's that. But yeah, it'll remain a mystery for quite some time. But yeah, you'll eventually know. They'll eventually.
Oh, what if it was Marjorie?
Okay. Why do you think her?
Well, because it was interesting before the Reigns of Castamere episode. Remember, I said I was so surprised that happened. I thought that they were going to go after the Tyrells.
Yeah.
And now I've kind of forgotten about it. So right. I don't know. I didn't. I mean, I'm going straight off the cuff here. I didn't think about that previously. So I don't know. I'll throw her in the mix too. But I think Sansa's my first choice.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. 4 suspects now.
4 suspects.
I think it could be anyone, like I said, really, except for the people I named. John said they did a great job of making Joffrey even more loathsome. Yeah,
they sure did.
Yeah, he says LOL. I don't know what that's in reference to.
Yeah, but, what are you laughing at there, Evie, out loud about?
And then John says, I like when Joffrey started choking and then he drinks more poisoned wine. Yeah,
I love that. Yeah,
that was pretty funny.
Wait, who was trying to give? What was that in like season? Was that end of season 1 or season 2? Remember, they were trying to get Daenerys to drink that poison wine, and they figured it out. They're like, "Don't drink that."
Yeah.
But was that the Baratheons that sent that to do that?
It was King Robert Baratheon. Yeah. He authorized her assassination, but it was Varys who wrote to Jorah about it, and so it was basically Varys who was responsible.
Okay. Interesting. Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, I'm interested to see how it develops. I also just think like Sansa's been too quiet. I really don't like her character very much, but so far at least. So like I think like something's going to happen. Like she's due for something to happen with her. I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what that's based on.
Something will happen to her. I promise you that.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's her character definitely evolves, and that you could say that for a lot of the characters in the show. Just maybe not some of the one-dimensional characters, like maybe Ramsay Snow, like his character's not going to develop, but like for the most part, most of the characters will go through a lot of growth, and unfortunately, season 7 and 8, especially 8, kind of reverse a lot of that growth.
Right.
With Jamie particularly. There's one scene in 403 that I just watched because I thought you might watch it. There's one scene between Jamie and Cersei, which is in my opinion, horrible because it goes completely off tangent from what the book did. with those two characters. And I'll explain it later, like whenever you watch it. But it was in the show, like you'll be like, this doesn't make sense given Jamie's trajectory as character development. But it was in the books, it was completely different, and it just made more sense how they did in the books. So there's that. And
I'm interested to see the whole brand thing, that dream little sequence that he had. Oh, you know what that really reminded me of? Remember the movie The Ring? It's one of my favorite movies of all time. It sort of reminded me of the videotape.
Really?
Yeah, in some ways. Not in like what it actually, not the visuals, but like, well, I mean, yes. I mean, it wasn't the same things pictured or anything like that, but I thought that dream sequence was really interesting. So,
okay.
But it really, you've seen The Ring, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's good. It's good. I liked it.
Oh, it's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, it was pretty. It's a pretty creepy movie. I enjoyed it. That was pretty good.
I remember when, because I was a junior. I remember it always makes me think of my junior year of high school because that's when it came out, and I wore that movie out.
Oh really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I could probably recite like almost the entire thing, at least paraphrased. But I remember the morning after, like my brother and I watched that movie for the first time. Like he rolled over in the middle of the night, like on his remote control, and like static came on the TV, and he like was like freaking out because he's like, that never happened before. Like it just so happened. I thought that was funny. I thought that was hilarious. But
that's funny. Oh man, that would freak you out if you just watch it.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I get that. All right, that's about it. Unless you have anything else to mention.
I think that's about it. Come check out my Twitch. I'm a 4-time tournament winner now. I won another tournament earlier this week.
Oh, you have to update this.
Oh, that's true. I guess I do. Yeah, I'm behind.
Nice.
So I'm really excited to get into football with all of you here soon. It's been it's interesting. It's been so long since we've just kind of been bantering and talking about whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like we have to get back into it. It happened. It came up on us so quickly, but I'm excited for it. I think I have a good feeling about this season for us. And it's here.
I know. Right. Yeah. Thursday is when the real preseason starts. There are 2 games on Thursday. I think there's like 1, 2, maybe 3 on Friday. And then next Saturday, there's a million games. So we won't be able to have a show next Saturday, unfortunately. But yeah, well, whenever the schedule starts to free up, we'll be back together. But next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we'll have fantasy mock drafts. And I think Thursday, because both games are on at 7:00. So should be able to do it Thursday, although it's going to be a little bit later than the other days. But yeah, we already have guests lined up for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So I can't wait for that. So yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of fantasy mock drafts on this channel throughout the month of August. So yeah, it's going to be a fun time. Please hit... What'd you say?
Oh, no, I said looking forward to it. Good stuff.
Yeah. Please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video. Visit the link in the description for the merch store. All that would be appreciated. Thanks so much, guys, for watching and commenting. It's always a blast talking to you guys. Thank you, especially to Germ for the $2.69 and John for the $2 consolation prize. Really appreciate the super chats, guys. It's awesome. We'll be back on Monday. I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend, and talk to you then.
Have a good night, everyone.